Oh, dude, wow, man, what am I watching? This here is without a doubt one of my favorite movies. It's called The Triangle, and it just blew my mind. So I'm going to show you the trailer, but once again, this is one of the movies where the trailer completely screws up the movie because it's a false representation of what the movie is actually about.
When I have a bad dream, close my eyes, and I think of something nice.
See, there it already makes you feel like it's a horror, and it's not a horror. If you enjoyed Groundhog Day, this is very similar to Groundhog Day. It's a loop movie.
Dropped out on us.
Get below deck now. Get the life jacket. Oh, thank God.
Hello? Where's everybody?
You enter a place you have never been.
I recognize this corridor.
Everything you see, you have seen before.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt the trailer here because this honestly makes it look like this crazy horror movie where people are just going around and looks like a slasher movie, but it's really, really not, dude. It's like I'm just watching how many times what they're doing in the trailer, and this is just such a false representation of the movie, man. This really was one of the most incredible movies I've ever seen. It was such a surprise, and the reason why is because I actually got it out of a Netflix box. Do you remember the Netflix box? Yeah, man. They used to do the DVDs in the post, and then they put these boxes in like all the shops, and that's where I actually saw the movie. And every time I went to the bloody box, this movie would come up. So I hired it the one day, $1 a day, and I watched it like maybe 6 times in 10 days. So it starts off very basically with this single mom whose kid was autistic, so he freaks out. You saw the trailer, so this was quite a nice little foreshadowing with the yacht in the swimming pool. But yeah, the kid is he's autistic and he messes paint on the floor, so he freaks out, and she has to clean it up. She's like I said, a single mom that's looking after a kid that needs special attention or special needs. So she's actually a waitress. And in the story, you find out that one of her customers actually likes her and invites her to this trip. So the beginning of the movie is basically her just cleaning up and getting prepared. I think this is like 4 or 5 minutes in the movie. So the way it's directed, I mean, the credits are still coming in. So it shows you her cleaning up, then it goes to the credits. So it was a very interesting way that it started, because the credits kept on popping in, and then you see them at the harbor, and the guy's busy getting the yacht ready for them to go out. So the story on the yacht is pretty simple and straightforward. They're all mates from either school or college. They've known each other for a while. This chick brings her friend to introduce to this guy because he's a loner, and then she arrives, and he knows her. She's the waitress from the place, but she's all sad and everything. So it's because she had a fight with a kid. The directing in this movie was incredible. The way they show you the boat, the way they show you the isolation or just the vastness of the ocean was incredible. The story then goes to her. She's busy sleeping in the cabin, and then Liam Hemsworth. Liam Hemsworth, not Liam Nielsen, man. I said Liam Nielsen in the other video. But it's Liam Hemsworth, one of his very first movies. I think he was like 19 or something in this. So they're busy sailing around a bit. It's beautiful, open skies, blue skies. I don't know what I'm saying here, open skies. But the crazy thing is there's a storm on the ocean, which is very similar to Skull Island. I was actually going to put a clip of Skull Island in here. Should I do that? Let me see, maybe. Because the storm isn't the pinnacle of the movie, but the storm is a character in itself which takes them to the next point. So the storm is there for about 5 minutes of the movie. It comes out of nowhere, capsizes the boat, and that's the whole point. In order for them to experience what is going to happen, they need to be capsized, and once the boat is capsized, this ship appears, and they board the ship. So this was very crazy. I love this shot angle as well, this angle here, where it just shows you. Oh, Aeolus, wait. I actually Googled this. Shit, I need to stop. Shit, I need to stop the video. Give me a second. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay. So this is Aeolus. Aeolus in Greek mythology, Aeolus, the son of Hippotes. I don't know if that's correct pronunciation. Was the ruler of the winds. So I find that to be quite interesting because even when they get onto the ship while they're walking down the passages, there's even a picture of the Greek god Sisyphus. I always get him mixed up because of syphilis. So Sisyphus. So Sisyphus was a Greek god. I mean, punished by Zeus. And he had to roll a boulder up the hill. So you might have seen that before. Yeah, you read it. He is a king of Corinth and became famous or infamous for his general trickery. So like Loki, I suppose. Sisyphus ultimately got his oh, wait, that was interesting. Competence. What was that? The competence. So yeah, so he was the guy. So you might know this image of Sisyphus rolling a boulder up the hill. And this is what always blew my mind, because this is basically the story of Groundhog Day. Well, not the story, but it's the story structure of Groundhog Day, because that's what always blew my mind. When I watched the movie Groundhog Day, which is a loop movie, I mean, they have now become known as loop movies. So Groundhog Day, Edge of Tomorrow, Palm Springs with Andy Samberg was hilarious. So if you haven't seen Palm Springs, that was also amazing. Awesome loop movie, comedy loop movie like Groundhog Day. But this here is, I want to say it's a loop movie, but it's, dude, I don't want to, I don't want to ruin it for you. But anyway, so Sisyphus had to roll the rock up the hill, where Prometheus was actually punished by Zeus as well. Zeus was a very angry kind of guy, but I suppose when you're king, you got to punish people and pass down laws. So Prometheus, which I never knew, because I loved the movie Prometheus, but I didn't know that Prometheus was the god that stole fire from heaven or from the mountains and gave it to man. So he was punished by having an eagle eat his liver. So anyway, getting back to the movie, those are important facts to know. But getting back to the movie, it's kind of crazy because they, you know, as humans do, they split up into groups. Once again, the directing, look at this passage, man. The directing in this was amazing. As human beings, we split up into groups. So these two guys go check in the one place of the one deck, and the other two go to the other deck. You can see that there's buffets out with food. So there obviously has to be people here. But then all of a sudden, Liam Hemsworth comes back, and he's been beaten up, and she finds him, and then goes to the theater where she finds the other people, and her boyfriend has been shot, or the guy who invited her there, and they all blaming her. They're freaking out. They're saying this is her fault. What does she do? Why is she here? Who is she? What the hell is going on? Everybody's freaking out, trying to blame somebody. And as this happens, kaboom! One of the other chairs, somebody's trying to shoot at them from the balcony. They look up. They see this dude with this thing over his head, and they then try to get away from him. So it's a bit of a crazy scene, a lot of screaming and shouting. So I suppose, you know, kind of falls in line with the trailer, but it's not a horror. Once again, the directing in this, the guy who directed this made sure that he used all the lighting, as many reflective surfaces that he could, and really the ship in itself, I would have to say, is a character of the film. This was an unbelievable movie. This part here reminded me a bit of Death in the Nile, where you can hear the people on the top floor. So she hears the guy running across the floor. So even though you can't see him, so she goes upstairs. There's a bit of a fight that goes back and forth. I think this is like between about half an hour into the movie. So it's not one of those movies where you have to wait until the end until you find out who the killer is, and there's a fight between the two of them. She then goes into this room because this record is playing, and this here is one of the most amazing directorial scenes or directing scenes, I don't even know how to describe, that you've ever seen. As you can see, it's an over-the-shoulder shot. She's in the mirror. She realizes that she's got blood on her face. She's a single mom, so you can understand that everything that she's doing is not for her to survive, but for her to get back to her boy who's at school. The weekend is at a special school that deals with kids with needs. But you see this, the director, she hears something outside, but instead of the camera turning with her and going outside, it keeps with the over-the-shoulder shot, and then it follows her, and the camera actually goes into the mirror and follows her outside. And that, for me, was one of the most amazing shots I've ever seen in a film. And then you won't believe what she sees when she gets outside. So that's a movie done by Icon. It's an amazing film. Funny enough, it's got a lot of Greek mythology in it, or a lot of stories that are based on Greek mythology about being punished for things that you've done, or having to recognize the things that you've done. So if you want to learn about a little bit about Greek mythology in a fun kind of entertaining Pinky in the Brain, I suppose, kind of way, you can watch Crapopolis. Yeah, Crapopolis is an actual cartoon and series.
Prometheus.
Huh? Hey, you don't want any part of this. There's an eagle here that eats... Oh, God! Livers! Oh, it hurts every time!
Prometheus, I'm Tyrannus, king of Crapopolis. This is my brother Hippocampus. Big fan.
Oh, hi, guys. I'd say nice to meet you, but there's an eagle eating my liver.
If we were to free you, would you be willing to tell my mother she's full of crap?
Gee, let me think about it. Yes! Oh, God, not the liver again!
Oh, so specific.
Such a specific pain. Let me get a look at these chains. It's not something you think about as a sensitive area, you know?
The liver, you mean?
Yes, the liver. It hurts. When you're a kid and you go out to play, your mother never says cover your liver, but wow. I've spent centuries begging this eagle to try a testicle, an eyeball, anything would be a vacation. How you doing on those chains, little man? We close?
Gods. Obsessed with punishment, lazy with mechanics.
Did you like it? Was my liver delicious? Are you going to kill the eagle?
Why would I do that? Oh, yeah, because it ate my liver forever. That's why.
No problem.
You earned it.
Thank you for freeing me. Hippocampus and Tyrannus.
So I don't know if YouTube is going to allow me to show that clip of Prometheus getting his liver eaten, but if not, check out Crapopolis. If you're like, ooh, I don't know, that doesn't really look that cool. It kind of reminds me a lot of the same kind of writing as Asterix and Obelix, where the names are very cleverly created. But funny enough, it's by Dan Hammond. And if you don't know who Dan Hammond, oh, not Hammond, Dan Harmon, dude. My dyslexia is kicking in double, extra today. He did Rick and Morty, as well as Community. And the funny thing is, I watched Community after I watched Rick and Morty, and you really can see the writing and the writing structure with regards to the humor and building up jokes and creating the environment in order to have an awesome punchline. If you've never seen Rick and Morty before, then I think you should just go find a very high cliff and go sit there by yourself and watch it. Yeah, it was getting dark there. I was going to say jump off, because you do not deserve to be a part of this conversation. Now, if you haven't watched Rick and Morty, man, I know the first 2 seasons are really, really hard to watch because of the just level of alcoholism from Rick's side, and his delivery is just horrific. From season 4 onwards, it's much better, but then you've missed all the build-ups to the different characters. It says 10 years here, even though they wanted to do 100. But the next season's only in 2025, because Dan Hammond went through that whole issue with where he was accused of domestic violence. So, yeah, man, that's a little bit darker than we wanted to get. But, yeah, 2025, we're going to get the new season of Rick and Morty. Yeah, which is something I can't wait for, man. I love the writing in Rick and Morty. So, yeah, I thought I'd put a bit of a couple of loop movies here, or the similar genre to what it is that you're watching. Obviously, Edge of Tomorrow was one of my favorite loop movies, man. It was so cleverly done. The writing, the design of the aircraft, even the exosuits. I mean, we discussed that in Atlas as well. Because in Atlas they had that weird, massive exosuit that you climb into that just seems to be ridiculous. Wow, how are you going to be stealthy in that? Anyway, we're not going to get into that argument. But anyway, Edge of Tomorrow, they're busy with the sequel. I can't wait for that. And then, of course, Groundhog Day. Now, I was talking about shitty trailers early on, but I got to tell you, man, I wanted to add the Groundhog Day trailer here as part of a clip that's behind the scene while I'm busy talking. But this Groundhog Day trailer, wow, dude, if I've ever seen a trailer that's 100% not what the movie is. This Groundhog Day movie, they made it seem like a horror, like he was, stuck in a loop, but in a horrible way. They didn't portray it as a comedy at all. So that was kind of weird for me. So I'm definitely going to add on this Groundhog Day trailer, because I mean, here he's even laughing, but in the trailer it is like this dark, evil, kind of horrific person who becomes an alcoholic, and who thrives in being just one of the worst people. So I hated that. But anyway, the one other trailer that I ended up talking to you about in the previous recording, which I'm not quite sure of, was this one here called 10 by 10. Just as a movie that you might not have seen, that's a really, really incredible movie that's got this major, major twist in it. So 10 by 10 is not a loop movie. It's just a really, really good movie that I think also went under the radar a bit, like the movie Triangle, where it has this incredible twist at the end that completely blows your mind. So this, obviously, as you can see, this is a movie about this guy who follows this woman. The reason why it's called 10 by 10 is because it's the room that he builds, that he captures her, because he knows that she knows about the death of his wife and who killed his wife. So he takes her and he kidnaps her, and won't let her go until she tells him what happened to his wife. So this was actually such a surprise movie for me, and there's an incredible twist in this. So this just falls under the same grouping, should I say, as the movie Triangle, where it's just, oh, what's that noise for? Where there's just this incredible, incredible story. You think you know what's going on. You think it's a cliched Hollywood movie of a kidnapping, but it's really not. So yeah, guys, thanks for joining me today. I really, really give that movie Triangle another go. I've watched it so many times, and I swear to you, I still find something amazing about it. So yeah, join us for another awesome movie, guys, and thanks for joining me today. Have an awesome, awesome day.